Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Janaranjana. Jamuna Tira Banachari. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana. Yamuna Tira Banachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Trinadapi Sunichena Tadadiva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sadahari. Hare Nama Hare Nama Hare Nama Kevalam. Kalo Nastyeva 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 Gatiranyata. Thank you for being part of this Krishna consciousness movement. And we are in a season, the Christmas season, so it's not wrong. I wish you Merry Christmas. So growing up as a Catholic, Christmas was a big deal. Not so much because of Jesus, but because Santa Claus. Anyway, now that I am Krishna conscious, to me, because Christmas was such a big day, perhaps the biggest day of the year when you're a kid. For me now, my biggest day was September 1965. Prabhupada in August got on board the Jaladuta boat and he suffered 2 heart attacks. And he celebrated his birthday on the boat. He celebrated Janmashtami on the boat. And in September, he arrived first in Boston Harbor. And then after spending 1 or 2 days Boston, then he arrived in New York, and it was the beginning of the Hare Krishna movement. So for me, that is my Christmas, the day Prabhupada came to America. And my good friend, our loving sannyasi, Badrinarayan Swami, let's offer our respects. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanang pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Thank you for bringing your bell.
Oh, it's your instruction. I tell that when I travel around the world.
You can blame it on me.
I tell them this is GBC order. If they have any problems, they can discuss it with you. So, if Prabhupada had not arrived in America, this would not be here. But isn't it wonderful that this is here? Is it not wonderful that we have this Hare Krishna temple? So when Prabhupada arrived in Boston, he wrote a poem. And to me, this poem is the essence of what is the Krishna consciousness movement. Every year, I have to do a lecture on this poem. And it seems I didn't do it this year, so this is my last chance. So let's go through this poem that Prabhupada wrote while the boat was docked at Boston Harbor. We'll go through it slowly and we'll explain it. So the poem begins. My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul, but I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me. So this first part, notice how he addresses Krishna. My dear. So he has a loving relationship with Krishna. Then, the whole mood of this poem, you'll see, humility, humility. Because, according to Bhagavad Gita, that's the first item of knowledge. In chapter 13, there is so many items listed. The first item of knowledge, humility. And that first mantra that I chanted, Turnadapi Sunichena. So humility, that is something that Krishna's devotee practices moment to moment. So notice how he's thinking, useless soul. And I do not know why you have brought me here. But he does know. Why? Because his spiritual master ordered him. From their very first meeting, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati told him to preach the message in English. And as it turned out, the message was brought to America. Notice now the next line, which is we call full surrender, Atma Nivedanam. Now you can do whatever you like with me. That is the symptom of full surrender. When you're fully surrendered to the Lord, this is how you are. My Lord, do whatever you like. And this will occur throughout the poem. But I guess you have some business here. Otherwise, why would you bring me to this terrible place? So before writing the poem, the captain of the ship, Arun Pandya, took him to a little tour of Boston. And what Prabhupada saw, that's why he's writing, why would you bring me to this terrible place? Everybody wants to come to America, right? Everybody thinks, oh, come to America and enjoy, because we have Disneyland, and we have this, and we have that. But to Srila Prabhupada, he sees what? This is a terrible place. Where is Prabhupada coming from? Vrindavan. So that's where Prabhupada is coming from. Comparing Vrindavan to Boston, there's no comparison. I guess you have some business here, yes. That is another qualification of spiritual master. He does Krishna's business. Just like so many people come to America to do business. So Krishna and Krishna's movement has come to America to do business. But what kind of business? That is the question. The business, Krishna's business, is to reclaim his fallen conditioned souls who find themselves here entrapped in this samsara, repeated birth and death. There are two purposes for the material creation, Prabhupada writes in his Bhaktivedanta purports. There are two purposes. One purpose is to give facility to those conditioned souls who want to enjoy this material world to their fullest extent and go to hell. Because that's what happens. If you try to enjoy this material world, eventually you'll wind up in hell. Because you cannot enjoy this material world. It's not designed that way. The other purpose of this material creation is what you have come here for. What is that other purpose? How to get out of this material world and go back to your original home. Your original home is in the spiritual world with Krishna. That's where we all came from. Somehow or other, here we are, but this is not our original home. So the devotees is like Krishna's business agent. He comes and tries to canvass and introduces people, yes, come with me. The devotee knows I am going back home, back to Krishna, and he tries to take as many people with him. Following in the footsteps of one of Prahlad Maharaj's prayers to Lord Nrsimha. Prahlad also prayed like that I'm trying to bring people back to your lotus feet, O Lord. So Krishna's business, as represented by the spiritual master, or Srila Prabhupada, is to reclaim as many fallen conditioned souls back home, back to Godhead. That is the purpose of this movement. The purpose of this movement is how to go back, that word, back, because that is your original home. Now, look what Prabhupada says here. Most of the population here is covered by the material modes of ignorance and passion. Absorbed in material life, they think themselves very happy and satisfied. And we call that Maya. That's Maya. You're absorbed in material life, thinking, this is the life, that this is what it's all about. But death comes, and you have to start all over again. Just think about it. These big billionaires, right? They amass so much wealth, but one day they have to say bye-bye. And all that wealth that they worked hard to achieve, to leave it all behind. And then take another birth and start all over again. That's not progress. No. Progress means finish up in this lifetime and go back home, back to Godhead. And therefore, they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. Everybody say, please. Vasudeva. That wasn't everybody. Come on. Vasudeva. That's better. Vasudeva. Another name for Krishna, meaning all pervasive. He's everywhere. He's in your heart. He's within every atom. And another meaning, he is son of the devotee Vasudeva. So they have no taste for Krishna's message. Why? Because they're absorbed in material life. That's why. Krishna says, there are 4 kinds of people who come to him. Those in distress, those seeking material gains, those who are inquisitive, and those who are actually seeking the absolute truth. I was a combination of 3 of them. I was definitely in distress. Oh my God. I was in so much distress. But I was inquisitive. And yes, I was searching for the absolute truth. And then I came in contact with Krishna's devotee, Krishna's book, Krishna's prasad, Krishna's temple, Krishna's deity, and yes, Krishna's devotee, Srila Prabhupada. That was the benediction. Getting that first book. So they have no taste for the transcendental message of Vasudeva. So I do not know how they will be able to understand it. But I know your causeless mercy can make everything possible because you are the most expert mystic. So here Prabhupada's alluding to the last verse of the Bhagavad Gita. Sanjaya tells Dhritarashtra, the final verse, that Krishna is the supreme mystic. And wherever there is Krishna and Arjuna, there will be so many wonderful things. So, one of God's qualities is known as Achintya Shakti. Inconceivable potencies. So Prabhupada is well aware of Krishna's potency. He experienced it on the boat. Because after the second heart attack, Krishna appeared to him in a dream. And in that dream, Krishna was rowing a boat. And in the boat were all these incarnations, avatars of Krishna. And what was Krishna saying? Come. Come. In other words, Krishna was taking over the boat. Everything was going to be okay. He was going to be protected. And throughout Prabhupada's life, he saw how Krishna is the most expert mystic. And you ask any devotee who has done sincere devotional service, preaching, they too must have had some experience of Krishna's mystic power, seeing so many incidents in life. I know I've had many of such. Nobody can tell me that Krishna is not God. Sorry. You're not going to convince me otherwise. I've seen it too often. This is what we call realization. So many incidents, and they keep coming and coming and coming, reinforcing this fact. Krishna is God. What a beautiful, I have a song called like that. Krishna is God. It's one of my favorite songs. I love singing it. So let's continue. How will they understand the mellows of devotional service? O Lord, I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them about your message. So here is the key. Here's the key. I am simply praying for your mercy so that I will be able to convince them. So anyone who is a preacher, this is the key. This is how you become successful in preaching. You're asking Krishna for his mercy to be able to convince. Prabhupada now continues. All living entities have become under the control of the illusory energy by your will. And therefore, if you like, by your will, they can also be released from the clutches of illusion. Now, this needs to be explained because it sounds like, oh, God placed us in this world as a punishment. No, Prabhupada is not giving you the other background information that he gives elsewhere. Why, the question should be, why did God place us in the illusory energy? Why? That's called the original fall of the living entity. It's not that God is vindictive and is indiscriminate. Okay, you go to hell, you go to heaven. That's not how God rolls. No. The explanation is because I've already said, your original home, correct? You heard me say that, is in the kingdom of God. So, how did we get here? And elsewhere in Prabhupada's writings, Prabhupada makes a reference to a book known as Milton's Paradise Lost. And he says that book expertly explains how the living entity falls. But he also explains it. He says, yes, originally we were with God, but we misused our free will. Free will is always there. We will never lose our free will. Without free will, there can be no love. If you force somebody, that's not love. No, love has to be free, voluntary. I choose to serve you. I choose to love you. Not that I twist your arm or I put a gun to your head. Love me, love me. No, that's not love. Love has to be free. So, yes, originally we were with God, but we misused our free will. And what was that misuse? I want to be God. I want to feel what it is to be God. I want to be the enjoyer. I want to be the controller. I want to be everybody's best friend. So as soon as that desire comes, now by Krishna's will, we come to the material world. Not that Krishna indiscriminately sent us here. In many places throughout the Vedic literatures and Prabhupada's writings, this material world is compared to a prison. So it's not that God automatically, just out of his whatever, sends people to the prison. No, you're sent to the prison because you committed a crime. What was our crime? Misuse of free will. Wanting to be independent or one with or trying to imitate the position of God. That's why we're here. And the devotee, what is his prayer? The devotee says, my Lord, I want you to bless them so that they can be released. Look at this language. Released from the clutches of illusion. As he said earlier, they think themselves happy, absorbed in material life. Here he says, but that's the clutches of illusion. Let's continue. The next phrase. I wish that you may deliver them. Indian people, you know this term, Ashirvad, right? Your favorite. Prabhu, Ashirvad, Prabhu. So, here is the real Ashirvad. Prabhupada is saying, coming to America, he's addressing all of America and subsequently the whole world. Because this is not the American Society for Krishna Consciousness. Krishna West, South, no. International society. Not just for Americans. It's for everybody. So I wish that you may deliver them. That is the symptom of a devotee. Nothing to do with himself. His prayer is, my Lord, please deliver them. That was Prabhupada's mood. Everything Prabhupada did was not for himself. Prabhupada created this movement for us. Everything Prabhupada did, writing of the books, establishing temple, having this Sunday feast program, and all the different things that this movement does, is simply to have people be delivered from the clutches of illusion. I wish that you may deliver them. Therefore, if you so desire their deliverance, then only will they be able to understand your message. Yes, in order to be delivered, you have to understand Krishna's message. That's why Prabhupada insisted, yes, there is arti, so many artis throughout the day. But that's not enough. You can go to so many temples around the world. In India, they're also doing arti. The people come, they ring the bell. But that does not mean your business is finished. You have to hear the message. Krishna's message is in Bhagavad Gita. Did you do Bhagavad Gita Yagya? Yes, I did it in Los Angeles. I do it every year. Do you do the whole Bhagavad Gita? Do you do all? Really? No? Wow. I can brag. We did all 700 verses. Yeah. So, Krishna's message is there in Bhagavad Gita. So how many people read Bhagavad Gita every day? Not enough hands. Once a week? Once a month? All right. Keep in mind, Bhagavad Gita, how many times do you eat in a week? Yes, just like you eat, 2-3 times a day, you can see, I don't starve, right? So Prabhupada writes, in the same way, bodies, they need grains, food grains. So in the same way, the soul is nourished by reading books like Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. So Prabhupada insisted in his temples, besides the arti, there must be minimum 2 classes every day. Has to be. Because people need to hear and understand Krishna's message, which we call, or which Prabhupada calls, the science of God. I love that term. Do we have any scientists in the temple today? Okay, scientists. So you know science, right? So many things, and if you do the right procedures, you get what you're looking for, right? Am I correct, scientists? So that's what Bhagavad Gita is. It's a science book, but what kind of science? Science of self-realization. Understanding who you are, not who you see in the mirror. And trust me, thank God I'm not what I see in the mirror. Now, you may look very nice and pretty when you're young, but when you turn 68, 69, So, understanding the first thing of, see, when you get them laughing, you're halfway home. Understanding that I'm not what I see in the mirror is the first lesson of transcendental knowledge, the first lesson of self-realization. And that's where Bhagavad Gita begins. And throughout the 18 chapters, you'll understand who is God, who are you, what is this material creation, what are activities, and what is this time element. Different concepts are there in Bhagavad Gita. They need to be understood, and they need to be studied regularly, daily. Read Bhagavad Gita every day. On Friday night, I did a program in someone's home. Badri Maharaj, do you know Roshan Kanpur? Do you know him?
Yes, I do.
So I did a program at his house on Friday, and we went through this Bhagavad Gita Mahatmyam. And in that Bhagavad Gita Mahatmyam, so many benedictions reading the Bhagavad Gita. And it was astounding that one of the statements was that if at the time of death, all you can say is the word Gita. Okay, imagine you're at the time of death. Can you say it now? You get so much benediction just by, and it said if you can remember a verse, you get this if you remember half a verse. So let's learn at least, and it said if you learn one line. So shall we learn a line? Okay, sit properly. Please repeat. Sarva dharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vraja ahang tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shruta. You did very good. Give yourselves a hand. Very good. So this verse, such a powerful statement by Krishna. He says, whatever you think you should be doing, or whatever religion you think, forget about it. As we say in New York, forget about it. Give up all varieties of what you think you should be doing, and just surrender to me. Now, many times I've explained that the word, the Sanskrit, sharanam, everybody say. Sharanam. So it can be translated as surrender, but I like a different word, shelter. Isn't that a nice word? Shelter. You take shelter from the storm. So when Krishna says surrender, what he's meaning is you take shelter of his lotus feet. Just like here, this temple, Jai Sri Sri Radha Giridhari, every year you do that wonderful Govardhan festival, perhaps better than anybody, right? You do that festival? I think you can be proud. You probably do it better than anybody. What do you think, Badri Maharaj?
Well, you told us to be humble. We do nice.
Thank you for the laugh. Very good. So, When Krishna lifted the Govardhan hill, all the residents, all the cows, they took shelter of the umbrella of Govardhan hill. So this verse, Krishna is saying, take shelter of me. Now comes the real thing. Ahang twang sarvapap, I will deliver you from all sinful reactions. Could you ask for any more? Your whole karmic debt will be taken care of. Look, we live in America. We all have debts, right? Credit card debt, this, right? We all have it. Say if somebody came and said, all right, I'll take all your debt. How would you feel about that person? No strings attached. You would like that person. Oh, thank you very much. Right? You'd invite him over for dinner at least. Right? Here Krishna is saying, I'm going to take your entire karmic debt. I'm taking it. And then he says, Ma Shucha. Everybody say. Ma Shucha. Which has different meanings. Don't hesitate. Do it now. It also means don't fear. And there's another one. Don't worry. Be happy. Yes. Now the question is, Prabhu, how do I surrender? Oh, that's easy. Here is Gaur Nitai. What is the message of Gaur Nitai? Chant Hare Krishna. Come on. Don't you know how to chant? Okay, let's wait. Come on. Snap out of it. Yeah, I'm hungry too. But we got to go till 7 o'clock, so we got another 20 minutes. So, all right, let's chant the Maha Mantra nice and loud. 1, 2, 3.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
All right, let's get back to the poem. Enough. The words of Srimad Bhagavatam are your incarnation. And if a sober person repeatedly receives it with submissive oral reception, then he or she will be able to understand your message. So, there is this book, Incarnation of God. Srimad Bhagavatam picks up where Bhagavad Gita leaves off. So we also have a class in this temple every morning on Srimad Bhagavatam. What time is the class? What time? 7:30. So, and it's also on the internet? Yes? Very good. You can hear the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. A sober person. What does it mean to be a sober person? Sober person means they've given up the 4 pillars of sinful life, which is required if you want to be serious student of Krishna consciousness. Give up all kinds of meat, fish, eggs. Give up all kinds of intoxication. No sex outside of marriage. And no gambling. These are the 4 pillars of sinful life. If you follow that, you're considered a sober person. Submissive oral reception. Our books are translated by Krishna's pure devotee, the author of this poem, Srila Prabhupada. We study his translations, his purport. So we receive that submissively. And what is Prabhupada saying? Then we will be able to understand. Thus one will become liberated from the influence of the modes of ignorance and passion. And thus all inauspicious things accumulated in the core of the heart will disappear. So this is how to be happy. I joined this movement for only one reason. I wanted to be happy. I was not happy in New York City, trying to become the next big rock and roll star. I was not happy. But here is how to be happy. You have to become free from ignorance and passion. And when are you happy? When in your heart there is no more inauspiciousness, like these 4 sinful things. Now, Prabhupada again goes back to the mood of humility. How will I make them understand this message of Krishna consciousness? For I am very unfortunate, unqualified, and the most fallen. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction. So anyone who is a preacher, here is the mood. Take benediction ask Krishna to empower you, to bless you, so that you can, this is how I should feel. I may be sitting on an elevated seat, doesn't matter. That's simply respect actually to the book and how this seat represents the disciplic succession, and I have to represent that disciplic succession. But here's my mood. I have to feel, actually I don't have to pretend. This is me all the way. Yes, I am unfortunate. Just ask my wife. I am unqualified. Yes. And ask my godbrothers. I am the most fallen. Although one time, one of Prabhupada's disciples, he said to Prabhupada, I'm the most fallen. Prabhupada said, no, you're not. You're not the most anything. You're just insignificant. That hurts even more. But this is the mood. This is the mood. Therefore, I am seeking your benediction so that I can convince them. For I am powerless to do so on my own. The person in false ego likes to take credit. Yes, I did this, and I did this, and I will. That's called false ego. I. But here, the pure devotee Prabhupada is saying, without your blessings, Krishna, on my own, I don't have any power. What can I do? Somehow or other, O Lord, you have brought me here to speak about you. So this is how I think. Wherever I travel, wherever I go, this is how I think. Because every preaching situation is a new ball game. No matter where you go here, you go. The audience is always different. And you never know what you're going to have to deal with. So here is my mood. Yes, Krishna, you have brought me here to speak. Now, my Lord, it is up to you to make me a success or failure as you like. This is the mood. Krishna, it's up to you. On the battlefield, Arjuna also, Krishna was repeatedly telling him in Bhagavad Gita, don't be attached to success or failure. Just do your duty. So in the same way as a preacher, my duty, people may like me, people may not like me. That's not, what can I do? But my job is to repeat the message of Prabhupada. That's my job. Present the Bhaktivedanta purport. And following in Prabhupada's example, Krishna, it is up to you to make me a success. How am I doing so far? Am I okay? Oh, good. Thank you. O spiritual master of all the worlds. This is it again. Here is another secret, or we say tricks of the trade. O spiritual master of all the worlds, I can simply repeat your message. That is how to preach Krishna consciousness. You have to learn Krishna's message. What book is that, Krishna's message? Bhagavad Gita. And then simply repeat it. Prabhupada was the same way. Prabhupada would say, Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, surrender. Prabhupada would say, therefore surrender to Krishna. Not surrender to me, surrender to Krishna. Jesus. Let's bring in Jesus, right? It's the season. Jesus was asked, because I remember from Our Lady of Loretto Catholic School, I remember. He was asked, what is the greatest commandment? Jesus said, love God. Notice what he says, love God with your whole heart, your whole soul, your whole mind. And therefore, every year, I'm invited to a Catholic high school in San Fernando Valley. Been doing that for about 15 years. And when I go to that Catholic school, I always mention this. So, Jesus is saying, love God with your whole heart, your whole soul, your whole mind. So I tell them, that God Jesus is referring to, here he is, Krishna. There he is. And we are trying to do that. When we chant what is the Hare Krishna mantra?
Hare Krishna.
Ah, finally. I got you. That is loving God with your whole heart, your whole soul, unless you're doing it like this. Hare Krishna. Now when you do it like that, that's loving God. Let's do it again, one more time, with the whole heart. There you go. And don't we love our neighbor? We're not fighting here, right? Everybody say hello to your neighbor. Okay? Merry Christmas. We all love and not only do we love our neighbor, we love our animal neighbors. We don't eat our animal neighbors. So we are good Christians. We're doing what Jesus said. Why anybody should not like us? We're loving God with a whole heart, a whole soul. We love everybody. Yes, that's another reason why I joined this movement. I was a peace freak, peace man. My favorite song, all you need is love. I was all about love. And when I come to this movement, that's all I read. Love of God. Throughout all of Prabhupada, love. I said, yes, sign me up. Love of God. That's my religion. I can simply repeat your message, so if you like, you can make my power of speaking suitable for their understanding. So this is the art of preaching. Making the message of Krishna suitable for their understanding. That's an art. And how do you get that art? Practice. How does LeBron James become the basket? Because he dribbles a ball for a couple of hours every day and just whoop, over and over and over and over. Repetition. They call it reps. You got to get your reps in. So we do reps too. Here's our reps. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama. We do 1,728 reps. Minimum. Yes. So, by practicing, by doing it more and more and more, preaching, that Krishna gives you that power to make things suitable. I try my best. Sometimes, no, but I try. Only by your causeless mercy will my words become pure. Yes, we have a saying. Purity is the force. So I have to live a pure life all throughout, so that when I come here, my words are pure. And I am sure that when this transcendental message penetrates their hearts, they will certainly feel engladdened. Has anyone felt engladdened tonight? I hope so. Thank you. I know I am, because this is what I love to do. That transcendental message penetrates their heart and thus become liberated from all unhappy conditions of life. Now comes the closing of Prabhupada's poem. Oh Lord, I am just like a puppet in your hands. That again, full surrender. I am a puppet in your hands. So if you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance. Make me dance, O Lord. Make me dance as you like. That again is the mood of a preacher. Prabhupada is preaching personified. If you want to become an expert preacher in Krishna consciousness, you study Prabhupada. You study his books. You study how he himself lectured. And you listen over, day in, day out. And here is the mood, the proper mood. If you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, make me dance. Oh Lord, make me dance as you like. Prabhupada closes, I have no devotion, nor do I have any knowledge, but I have strong faith in the holy name of Krishna. Another key to success. You got to get to the point where you have strong faith. I had a little experience of this way back in 1973. My first time out preaching on the subways of New York. I was with my godbrother, Satrajit Das. And all of a sudden at Penn Street Station, I felt something very sharp stabbing me in the back. Give me your money. And so I froze. So I turned to my godbrother, Prabhu, what do I do now? Chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. And the guy ran away. I have faith in this holy name of Krishna. I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen it. Yes, and so many times throughout my life, when my back was against the wall, when I was between a rock and a hard place, I just took shelter of Krishna's holy name, and sure enough, Krishna saved me. I have been designated as Bhaktivedanta, and now, if you like, you can fulfill the real purport of Bhaktivedanta. Signed, the most unfortunate, insignificant beggar, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, on board the ship Jaladuta, Commonwealth Pier, Boston, Massachusetts, United States of America, dated 18th of September, 1965. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, if I've touched your hearts in any way, if I've done any benefit for you, if you like, you can, before prasadam or during prasadam or after prasadam, any donation, doesn't matter how much, million, whatever you want to give, would be very greatly appreciated. I have some CDs. I have my latest CD, which is a CD about Damodar Leela and also the Damodarastaka song. So that's one. I have a few Mahabharat CDs, and I have some bhajans. So any amount you can take, one of the CDs, you can just place it here. Thank you very much. And if you like, tell Balaram to renew my contract for 2019. Because I want to come every month, but he'll need some feedback. So tell Balaram that you want me to come back every month. Thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada ki.